And nobody understands that better than the Parkinson's Foundation. All across the country, we provide resources and support in the fight against Parkinson's, a neurological disease that affects movement.
The Parkinson's Foundation is dedicated to improving care and advancing research towards a cure.
And when you call our helpline, you'll speak to a real person who can help you find the right information. Because while living with Parkinson's can be challenging, there are things you can do to improve your quality of life. So, whether you're newly diagnosed, have been living with Parkinson's for years, or caring for a loved one,
when Parkinson's gets real, find real answers at the Parkinson's Foundation.
Go to parkinson.org or call our helpline at 1-800-4PD-INFO, 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
Ms. Fernandez, what are those tiny things?
Those are what we call amoebas. You can only see them through a microscope.
Wow.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, there's a funding crisis in public schools. Millions of kids go to schools that don't have funding for books, computers, and so much more just because of where they live. You can help change that. Donor Shoes is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You choose which supplies to support. You could provide first graders with pencils and paper, or other students with their first chapter books, help a music class get a guitar.
You could even supply a classroom like mine with a science project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow.
To learn more, please visit DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. Choose students. Shape the future.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
From ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. No deal yet to extend the fragile ceasefire with Iran. ABC News chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell reports from Jerusalem.
If it's not a great deal, we're not making it.
President Trump is demanding Iran reopen the Strait of Hormuz, agree to never develop a nuclear weapon, and allow the U.S. to remove Iran's highly enriched uranium. Iran demanding the U.S. release $12 billion in frozen Iranian assets. But President Trump says no money will be exchanged until further notice. The agreement being negotiated is expected to extend the ceasefire, not end the conflict.
Meanwhile, Lebanese health authorities now say the death toll from the fighting with Israel now tops 3,400 people. It was another night of violent clashes between ICE agents and protesters outside Delaney Hall in New Jersey. Critics say the conditions inside that migrant detention facility are inhumane, with reports of malnutrition and inadequate medical care. New Jersey Attorney General Jennifer Davenport, in a news conference today, said just a few individuals are responsible for the violence.
We continue shining a light on the peaceful protesters who are demanding change at Delaney Hall. A much larger group than the individuals without a peaceful purpose who came to incite violence.
World Health Organization officials traveling to the Democratic Republic of the Congo this weekend, which is at the center of a growing Ebola outbreak. WHO head Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus was on hand today for the inauguration of a new treatment center in the city of Bunia.
Of course, we're working on vaccines and treatments, but that doesn't mean that people cannot recover from Ebola. So that's, I think, a strong message. And having a facility like this is to help people recover.
WHO officials reported Friday there are over 900 suspected cases and more than 220 suspected deaths from Ebola in Congo. Neighboring Uganda confirms 9 cases and 1 death. You're listening to ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month during Window Nation's Buy 4 Get 4 free sale. Yes, half of your new beautiful energy efficient windows free. Plus no money down and no monthly payments or interest for 2 years. Call now 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
I've been telling you all about the Secret War on our cash and the free report you can receive a copy of by contacting Swiss America at 800-289-2646. I'd also like to encourage you to subscribe to their podcast on YouTube. Just search Swiss America Trading. The podcast can provide you a ton of vital information and financial news in the challenging and uncertain times we're in. Subscribe today. Learn more about BRICS, industry leaders, and their market predictions for the future, along with what you might expect to see in terms of precious metal performance in the weeks and months ahead. Message and data rates may apply.
There are calls for police accountability in Shelby, North Carolina, after a now viral video shows a woman getting punched repeatedly by a police officer. The video shows the officer, whose name was not released, hitting Sherry Moore, even after another officer shows up to help. More from ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Then a second officer runs into frame.
Let go! Let go!
But the first officer continues to punch her as she screeches in pain.
I got her!
Sherry Moore eventually handcuffed, and at one point telling officers she's having a mental health crisis, saying she's not on her medication.
I seriously don't have a warrant.
Moore charged with breaking and entering, resisting arrest, and assault on a government official. Those charges later dropped.
The officer was fired, but Moore's family and demonstrators want him to face charges. The driver involved in that deadly bus crash along I-95 in Virginia now facing criminal charges. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more.
The National Transportation Safety Board says it's investigating the bus driver's actions in the moments before the crash. The driver remains hospitalized but in custody, facing a maximum of 10 years in prison for each charge of involuntary manslaughter if convicted.
5 people died in that crash and dozens more were hurt. And the matchup is set for the NBA Finals. The San Antonio Spurs winning over the Oklahoma City Thunder last night, which means they'll take on the New York Knicks in the playoffs. I'm Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
The birds are singing, the flowers are in bloom, the sun is shining. What more can we ask for? Maybe to feel great and be the best version of ourselves. This is Dr. Shufo from the Weight Loss and Wellness Center. Isn't it time to take care of ourselves now? We put it off during the cold, dark, dreary days of winter. But it's time now. Get rid of that extra weight, which affects our movement, our physical health, and yes, affects our mental and emotional health. Have more self-confidence and self-esteem. Be happy, be healthy, be alive. Call me at 1-800-900-THIN.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Mostly sunny and beautiful out there for this afternoon. The high up to 76, and then partly cloudy tonight, the low 48. Comfortable again for tomorrow. Sunny to partly cloudy I-75. Mostly sunny Tuesday. Get up into the mid-70s. For AccuWeather, I'm John Feerick, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
And now,
often imitated,
but never duplicated.
Lenny McAllister.
The way we bring back America and bring people together is by making sure we hold everybody accountable in a 360 fashion.
Yes, there is a change that we can believe in, but it will never come from a politician or a government program.
Lenny McAllister. Well spoken.
We got to move away from the American Idol soundbite nature of politics back to the American statesman of humble servant leadership that we used to see in politics.
If we get some common sense governing from both sides of the aisle, we can finally get Americans through the recession, not just Wall Street.
Principles or politics? I'd rather have principles.
I speak to the kids in the street. Well, I'm never going to lay down being conservative just as much as I'll never lay down being a proud African American.
I feel like a black Republic. Money I got coming in. Can't turn my back on the hood. I got love for them.
It is indeed a very sunny Sunday that you and I get to spend together over the course of the next 4 hours. Of course, it is News Radio KDKA. Of course, they are award-winning. Of course, I am part of the they, so I guess that makes me award-winning. And of course, I say that humbly, not in some type of braggadocious type of way. I'm just stating facts. That's what we shall do here. And as long as you call in at 866-391-1020 and you state facts and opinion, we'll be good. Because you know how we do. We keep the phone lines open. We share. We bond. We love each other. Well, I love you. I don't know if you follow the Barney lead and you love me too. But I'd like to think that maybe I love you, you love me, and we can do that and be a family at 866-391-1020. But I also know how these streets done be. And that includes how some of y'all, not all of y'all, some of y'all, minority of y'all, sliver of y'all, try to come at the kid. But I still love you anyway. That said, we'll have the phone lines open, have some things to talk about. You know how I do. I try to start off these shows talking about positive things, and I will do that before I get to the phone lines and current events and all that jazz. First thing, had an opportunity to spend the morning with some wonderful people. So when you see the podcast and you say, dude, is that the only suit you have and the only shirt you have? I recorded the podcast today, people. My wife is not going to allow me to leave the house and embarrass her, not me or the family, her, by only wearing the same exact thing. So even though I will admit I wear the flag pin and the jacket to bed, that's just part of the uniform. That said, just kidding, maybe. I had an opportunity to spend time with Derek McCants and Jennifer McIntyre. They are the hosts of a brand new podcast straight out of Pittsburgh called Both Sides of the Fence. Fantastic concept, wonderful conversationalists, wonderful co-host. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts and anywhere you can find podcasts. It's out there. You can follow them on YouTube as well. Again, Derek McCants and Jennifer McIntyre, the two hosts, had a wonderful conversation with them. I think we did basically about an hour for the podcast, which I enjoyed, and I'll get into why I enjoyed it so much, other than the fact that they are wonderful human beings. They are really good at what they do, and I think you'll enjoy the podcast. Again, go follow it, Both Sides of the Fence. It's a new podcast, Apple Podcast. You can follow them on YouTube or anywhere where you can subscribe to podcast. Go out there and do it. It is a Pittsburgh-based podcast. It is not just exclusively talking about us here in southwestern Pennsylvania. Even though we touched upon some local stuff, went national, went statewide, went cultural, went religious, it was a really good conversation. So I got a chance to meet Derek's husband and Derek and Jen today, do the podcast, rock and roll, have a really good conversation, and also, of course, talk about a Venn diagram of one, An American Story, which, of course, you can find via LennyMcAllister.com and Amazon and Barnes & Noble and everything else. You can pre-order it. The book comes out August 11th. Now, the cool thing about it for me, other than the fact that these individuals, that's kind of surprising. I didn't realize I had the ringer on. My bad on that. One of the surprising things that people may find out about me is this. A lot of people don't get a chance to see the other things that I do. I mean, those of you that follow News Radio KDKA, that follow 866-391-1020 and call in and engage me once a week, or sometimes when I'm filling in like I did on Thursday night, you're more inclined to get this aspect of me. The radio show host that takes phone calls, it's kind of rapid fire, back and forth, ask a question, give a comment, respond, go from there. Be loving, be kind, but also be, sometimes pithy, very quick oftentimes, and just very current events focused. The cool thing about doing Both Sides of the Fence with Derek and Jen, again, go subscribe to the podcast. The podcast that I did will be coming out shortly. When I have more information, you'll have more information. The cool thing about doing podcasts like I did with Derek and Jen is the fact that it's a long-form conversation. I get to do something different. Being a radio show host is something that I do. I do enjoy it very much. It's a blessing to be on News Radio KDKA. I'm a native Pittsburgher, so being on this iconic station is a joy. But it's a sliver of who I am. During the long-form interviews, I think highlights more of who I actually am. Talking about the book, talking about concepts in the book, talking about why I wrote the book, what my beliefs are for the country, what my beliefs are for the region, what my beliefs are for Pennsylvania, what my beliefs are for the emerging youth, how we can turn things around in schools, how we can turn things around with crime. And I'm going to get to crime in a little bit just because of what happened this past week. You can talk about that stuff here on the radio. It's not the same You all don't respond to radio show hosts the same. You don't respond to people in social media quite the same. But when you do a podcast, or let me rephrase it. When I do a podcast, I have the opportunity to be more of who I really am. Not that I'm not who I am here. I am who I am here, but it's a different format. I try to be thoughtful on KDKA, but I also know, one, there's commercial breaks, right? Number two, you all are calling in. If I sit here and talk the whole time and not let you talk or not give your point of view, then this isn't very much of a, back and forth conversation. And it's not talk radio. Talk radio is designed to have a lot of people call in, give their points of view, go back and forth, and go from there. However, when you do a podcast, you can expound upon answers. You can give examples. You can share a vision. And I do that here at times. I do that when I start off the show. But it's much different when you can do it with good conversation.